Well, welcome to another edition of SoCal Sports Report's weekly podcast. I am John Stellman, and we are terribly excited because tomorrow the Major League Baseball opens its season. We've got a full crew on hand tonight. We got Vince Morales and John Adams, both of them in Arizona last week, checking out a little bit of the spring action. So we'll get some reports from them perhaps later in the show. As we do always at the beginning, we give you our lineup. And obviously baseball is going to be the first thing we're going to discuss. We'll talk about the division races. We'll handicap them like we did last year, hopefully with better results. The finishes in all the divisions, the wild cards, the playoff rounds, and the rookie MVP and Cy Young award winners. So we'll go through that. That should take a lot of the show. And like I said, we'll hope that John and Vince had some questions he had for social. We'll see if he's able to make contact. We'll talk about the Rams signing of Sue, and also big trade rumors that Odell Beckham may be coming to Los Angeles. That would be interesting. We'll review the Elite Eight games that were played last weekend. Look at the Final Four coming up this weekend. We do have a Pac-10 team representing in the NIT Finals. Utah beat Western Kentucky 69-64, so they'll be there. Big soccer match this week for those local soccer enthusiasts. The first of the L.A. rivalry, the L.A. Football Club against the
Derby.
Galaxy.
The Derby.
The Derby.
If you're in England, they call them derbies.
The Derby.
But here, it's a derby.
The Galaxy against the L.A. Football Club. We'll talk a little bit about the Ducks and Kings if we have a chance. They're going to play Friday night. That should be a main event, a free-for-all. And our buddy LiAngelo has declared for the NBA draft. I would like to wish him the best of luck there. We'll get our cohort's thoughts on that enormous story. Let's start off with the baseball predictions. You guys want to go with the AL first?
Sure.
Let's go with the AL East.
Well, first of all, I want to object. How bad were we last year? Do you have documented evidence of how
I thought you kept
we
all the results.
I didn't bring them.
I didn't bring mine.
Yeah.
But you threw us all under the bus. I had the Dodgers going to the World Series.
Yeah.
I had them playing the Tribe.
Let's see.
I
didn't. I had the Cubs playing the. Did I have Cubs playing the Astros? Cubs playing the Astros.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But I also had the Yankees going.
I think I still have mine at home. I think I still have them.
I thought you were the one who were writing down all the results.
I did. I just didn't bring them.
Well, there you go. So
because I didn't expect to be thrown under the bus, but he threw me under the bus. Anyway.
Well, if you picked the Dodgers to be in the World Series, you're probably better than
you did.
Any
He did.
I
remember
I
that.
did.
Yeah, you're probably better than any of us.
Dodgers Tribe is how I had it, and then Dodgers beating the Tribe.
That's none of us got that close. All right, AL East. Vince?
I seem to remember
AL
somebody
East.
picking the Mariners or something.
Yeah, I did. That was it. That was a wild card. Be careful. Don't hate. Motivate.
Yep.
That's right.
All right. Where are we?
American League East.
American League East. Order of finish.
Oh, order of finish.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. I just picked the champions.
Well, who do you got coming out of the East?
American League East. I have the Yankees coming out of the East. And I can tell you right now, in second place, I have Boston.
Okay.
And from there, I don't know what's going. Toronto. I don't know. And Baltimore's last.
I've got the Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, and Rays.
Yeah.
Last.
Orioles. Wow. Really? Brooks Robinson isn't there anymore, or Boog Powell.
Buck Showalter will get him there.
Okay. See, I'm going back and forth. I've been waffling back and forth on this for a few days. My instinct is telling me the Yankees, but the wild card for me is Boone, new manager. I think that's worth a couple of games.
Yeah.
And I think Alex Cora, I don't know. for me, it's kind of a toss-up. Who's going to be the better manager over there? I'm sort of leaning towards Boston here, though I think the Yankees will be very good. The Yankees have, who do they have? Bird is out, right? Ellsbury starts
Stanton and Judge
on the DL. It's a good team. I'm not sold on Severino, Tanaka, and then what's after them. I'm just not completely sold on that.
Plus, at the first bit of strife, the pressure is going to really drop down on Boone. He doesn't know what he's in for.
So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to go Boston, New York,
Okay.
Toronto, Tampa Bay, and then your Orioles last.
All right. Central.
I've got Cleveland. I think everybody sort of forgot about Cleveland when Houston and the Yankees were playing so well in the postseason. So I've got Cleveland there. I've got Minnesota in second. I've got Kansas City, Detroit, and then the Sox.
Okay, I went Indians, Twins, Sox, Royals, and Tigers.
I have the same thing, except I'm going to switch. I'll do Detroit, then Kansas City, and then the Sox.
Okay.
Again, you got a team that we're putting in the basement in third in that division.
Tigers had a fire sale. I don't think they're
They
going to.
did, but they got a great manager.
Yeah, I think
Gardenhire.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like him.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he did a good job with the
He'll
Twins.
find a way.
AL West.
Astros, Angels, Oakland, Texas, Seattle.
Really? Again, another team that I put in last. You guys have elevated to third. Houston, Angels, Seattle, Texas, Oakland.
I think Oakland is got a bunch of sneaky players. They got a young, good starting pitching rotation. They got a great kid that's come out last year. Chapman plays third base, hits bombs. They're scrappy in center fielder with Boog Powell. They also have a possible rookie of the year, Dustin Fowler, back there to back up all the outfielders. I just think they're kind of a scrappy team that I think actually will surprise people. So that's why I have them. Actually, I have them battling the Angels for second place.
Vegas has their over-under win totals at 75.
For the
Oakland.
I had Astros, Angels, Mariners, A's, Rangers. So
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Astros, Angels, Mariners, A's, Rangers.
Okay.
Although you could,
Yeah.
flip most of those teams. Wild card coming out of the American League.
I really, really wanted to pick the Angels.
No, you
I
did. No, you
I did.
didn't.
No, I did.
No, you did not.
I absolutely
You
did.
lie like a rug.
I crossed them out. And I decided, you know what? I think there's still too many question marks on that pitching staff. So I went with, I think Boston is winning the East, as I said, but not by much. So I think it's going to be the Yankees and the Twins as a wild card.
So you followed last year's results. Yeah. I went with my wild cards as, where am I at? Sorry, please hold.
No worries.
I actually took the Red Sox, who I think are going to be by the Yankees, and I took the Angels.
That's exactly who I took. Red Sox and
And that was, I homered myself there.
Angels.
Which is very easy to do, Mr. Dodger.
I think that's fine. I think Vegas has it that way. Vegas has the Angels total wins at over under at 85, which puts them as the fourth best win total in the American League projected. So that puts them in a wild card. I just chose not to put them in there. But Vegas agrees.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm going out on a big limb here that the rotation stays somewhat healthy.
Right.
That this 6-man rotation works, right? And that even if a guy drops off, they still at a 5-man rotation. They're still able to manage all that. And I'm just completely basing this on Garrett Richards pitching 20 games, Skaggs staying healthy, Haney staying healthy, Ramirez kind of doing what he did last year and kind of holding the fort.
Right.
I was very impressed with Shoemaker in his last outing. I saw him throwing the ball at 91, 92 miles an hour, which I did not see that the game before.
Right.
And now he's got him in the third spot up in Oakland. So it's going to be quite interesting. He does throw a lot of ground ball stuff, but if he does miss up, it goes out a long, long way.
Yes.
But I was very impressed. He pitched against the Dodgers the other night, and I actually thought he did a pretty good job.
4 innings. Yeah. Well.
So.
I was a little surprised that Parker Bidwell didn't make that starting rotation. He came over last year.
Yeah, I think his last outing didn't help him too much. But I'll tell you, when he was pitching against the Dodgers at home the other day, he was getting pinched like no other. Yeah, it was really, you could tell on his face, he's like, are you kidding me right now? It was pretty, I could see that there was a lot of frustration in his but I think he's still not really there, to be honest with you. I think he can still get some more time.
He was their best pitcher in the second half of the season.
Right. He was in the second half of the season.
Won 10 games after they got him.
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on Skaggs. He's been hurt.
Got him in the 2 spot too.
Yeah, I know. I'm not really sold on that. We'll see. I hope.
But you got to have lefties in that lineup. You really do.
Yeah.
So.
I hope that they all stay healthy. And of course, Haney's already maybe on the DL to start the season.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see there what happens. Okay, the wild card game. Vince,
I got the Yankees over the Twins.
Okay.
I have the Yankees over. Oh, I'm sorry. That would be the wild card, right?
Yeah,
so
Boston.
It would be Boston over
the Angels.
The Angels.
I've got the Angels over the Red Sox.
Wow.
Homer.
Wow, you did homer it.
Mm-hmm.
How about the?
You might want to write that one down, Vince. Vince, you want to write that one?
Oh,
down?
I got a big circle around that one. Yep.
Make sure that you lose. Make sure you lose these predictions sometime between now and October.
All right.
The American League divisional series.
Well, it all depends on. It's kind of hard to do that, right?
You just take who you picked. I mean,
who do I have?
Well, for instance, I believe Houston's going to have the best record. So they're playing the wild card.
They play a wild card if they have the best record.
So let's do that.
Is that how you're okay? So I have Houston playing Boston. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. And then I have the Yankees playing Cleveland.
Right.
You want me to finish it all out?
Who do you think is going to win those divisional series?
I think the Yankees beat Houston and the Yankees go to the World Series.
Oh, boy, you're all right. I've got the Angels over Boston.
Okay.
In the wild card.
Have you been drinking?
Like Jimbo.
Little Homer juice.
It sounds like Jimbo.
A lot of Homer juice.
In the divisional series, Yankees over the Angels, Astros over the Indians.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the Yankees over the Astros in the championship series. I think there's going to be a little bit of a hangover there. The Astros aren't going to be what they were last year. They're still probably the best team in the league, but
it's hard to win. It's hard to go there two years in a row.
There's always that banquet tour after the season, and lots of champagne and celebrations, and sometimes hard to get motivated. But I like the Yankees over the Astros in the American League Championship Series.
I like Houston over the Yankees, and because that was my wild card.
Right.
And then Cleveland over Boston, and then Houston over Cleveland in the ALCS. So I've got Houston returning to the World Series.
To the World Series, okay.
Are we seeing a repeat of the World Series again?
I almost think that.
If a homer, come on, how could you take this team all the way to the World Series?
The homer
Did you
juice.
fall and hit your head there on Via Pressa? Holy cow.
National League.
National League. So I have East?
Yeah.
I have the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got Washington on top, the Mets.
Oh, you want me to go
Philly,
Sorry,
Atlanta, and Miami, who will struggle to get 60 wins.
It's
like
I am sorry about that. I'm going to go back to Mine, I will say it will be Washington, Mets, Atlanta, Philly, Miami. Is that what you just did? I think.
No, I'm a little different than you,
Okay,
but
all right.
in there. I think it's gonna be close in the middle.
Yeah, I've got the same as Vince. I got the Nationals, Mets, Phillies, Braves, Marlins.
That's what I just did. Yeah.
No, you didn't. You went Atlanta, Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mets,
All right.
Atlanta,
Yeah,
Philly.
okay, sorry.
I mean, I think there's going to be just
Flip
a couple
a
of
coin.
games,
Yeah.
there anyway. Then it's going to be the drop off to
Yeah.
the Marlins.
Yeah. Arrieta should help the Phillies a little bit. I don't know if that's enough to get them anywhere, but at least they should be a little bit better than what they were last year. Central.
You want to start off, Vince?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy it's a slam dunk with the Cubs. From there though, I've got Milwaukee, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and then Pittsburgh. So it's a toss up with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Complete ditto to that.
Goes it again, Cubs?
Cubs,
I got
Milwaukee.
Cubs, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Cincy, Pittsburgh.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
The West.
The West.
I have San Diego. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
San Francisco.
I have Dodgers, Colorado, Arizona, San Diego, San Francisco.
Whoa. McCutcheon and Longoria. You don't give much.
I just
Credence
you
to
can
that.
flip a coin down there at the bottom. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We've got the Dodgers, the Rockies, the Giants, the D-backs, the Padres.
I just wanted to switch it up because I knew the Padres are going to be in last in every one of our groups. Vince,
They deserve it.
yeah, they absolutely
They've earned it.
they absolutely.
they went out and got Hosmer.
They've earned it.
I think the Dodgers win the division again. Was that 6 straight? Would be 6 straight.
Let's get our wild card teams first.
So I've got Dodgers, Arizona, Colorado, San Francisco, San Diego.
Okay.
All right.
My wild cards in the National League are Milwaukee and Colorado.
Me too.
I've got Milwaukee and Arizona.
Close.
All right.
The wild card game.
Who are we going to say has got the best record there? The Cubs or the Dodgers?
No. The wild card game is
Oh, just over the two
Yeah.
of them. I have Colorado playing Milwaukee. I have Milwaukee winning that game.
I've got Milwaukee advancing
Yeah, I
past
do.
the wild card as well.
I do too. Yeah. Okay, National League divisional series.
If we go by Vegas over under totals, the Dodgers should have, according to
Milwaukee.
Vegas, the most wins. So it'll be Dodgers versus Milwaukee.
All right, so I have the Dodgers beating Milwaukee, and I have the Cubs beating the Nationals.
Same.
I do too. I've got a
Same.
Dodgers Cubs in a repeat of the NLCS.
Same.
And I have your Yankees Dodgers World Series.
But wait a minute, we didn't get to the National League Championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just got to it, didn't
We
we?
just did the divisional series. Now you got the Dodgers.
And the Cubs.
Yeah. You're taking
And
the
I have the
Dod-
Dodgers.
Okay.
I have the Dodgers
Okay.
beating the Cubs in the
And who do you
NLCS.
have? Who do you have over there, Testy One?
For what? For what series? For what series?
Yeah,
Well,
who do you have win the division?
You're skippering
The
the
division?
ship. You said no. I mean, didn't we already go through the divisions? But you can go back.
The championship series in the no, that's all right.
Yeah, who do you have in the NLCS? You got Dodgers,
Dodgers
Cubs,
over
right?
Cubs.
Okay,
Dodgers
so you
over
got the
Cubs.
Dodgers.
So you have the Dodgers and the Yankees like I do
Right.
in the World
Dodgers,
Series.
Dodgers, Yankees. I've got Dodgers, Houston in a repeat
Right?
in the rematch.
And do you have them finally winning?
I've got Houston winning because I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series last time. They got there and they lost. So I'm going to go with the reverse juju on this and go with Houston winning. So I've got Houston winning the back-to-back World Series titles.
So I'll
And-
help you with that.
Okay.
I took the Yankees.
Okay?
So hopefully that'll help you with the World Series championship.
There might be a little too much anti-juju here.
Right?
So
and you?
This time the Dodgers win Game 7.
Wow.
all right. So
Look at
I think
that.
he balanced out the
Win.
juju. All right.
Win Game 7 at home.
Oh boy.
The network's going to love it. New York and LA.
Oh, you better believe
Whoa,
they will.
They're going to love that.
We're gonna sell a lot of
Yeah,
hats.
Dodgers in 7.
You know, the thing that I wanted to point out is that I thought that San Francisco might be a little bit better this year, but losing Bumgarner again,
Yeah.
it really just torpedoes them. I don't think that they've solved all of their outfield stuff. I think moving Pence to left field, he was a disaster
Yeah.
in right field last year.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he's aged so poorly. He still gets on base. He still hits with a little pop. You know, he still runs pretty well, but he's just a bad outfield.
My question's Longoria there. I just don't know if he's kind of on his way out.
I like Longoria.
I know, I like him too, but
I
I
like
just don't
McCutcheon,
know.
but that team now has a higher payroll than the Dodgers.
Wow.
Right? Higher payroll than the Dodgers, among the top 4
Wow.
in all of baseball, and they're old. I mean, that
They
lineup
are.
is old.
Yeah.
I mean,
LaGuardia's, 32?
Yeah.
Right?
And he's fragile now.
yeah, they made their lineup older, and Bumgarner again cannot stay healthy. And again, these are. And again, if you're a Giants fan, it's like these are not things like he's got a sore elbow or he's got a sore shoulder.
Right.
Last year he was a moron, right? He's riding his mountain bike and he was a moron.
Right.
This was just bad luck. You know, he got hit on the hand. It's just bad luck.
Right.
But he has to have surgery. It's going to be pretty gnarly.
It's 6 weeks before he even starts rehab.
Right.
Right,
So
yeah.
so it's going to be a while. And I was looking at the schedule, and it is front loaded for the Dodgers Giants.
Well,
they play a
10
bunch of
times
times
in the first
They play
month
in
or
the first month. So they play 4, 3, and 3. So the Dodgers are almost certainly going to miss Bumgarner 3 starts.
Yeah.
I mean so he might not pitch against the Dodgers until June.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
If everybody expects you to be chasing the Dodgers, that's a big deal because your ace is now gone from the majority, and if it doesn't line up right, the rotation doesn't line up right,
Right.
he might not.
He might
who
not
knows
pitch against them all year.
if he pitches against them?
Yeah, might not pitch against them all year.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. If it was Colorado or Arizona, who I think will be closer to in the hunt, it might be something that makes a difference. I just don't think it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think San Francisco again towards the bottom. And I'm not convinced. I listen to San Diego talk radio. I'm not convinced that team has improved much.
No, they got some protection for Will Meyer.
Yeah. Last year I said that was a 100-loss team.
yeah.
And they exceeded those expectations. But now I'm not going out on a limb by saying this is a 90-loss team.
What's Vegas got him for the win?
70.
Win total? 70?
70. So they actually had him at 69.5. I rounded up. So 69 in the hook. Yeah, right? I mean,
That's probably about right. That's probably
yeah,
about
no,
right.
I mean, I've lost a lot of money not thinking I knew more than Vegas. So now it's just like, yes, Vegas. Yes. I believe you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Although there was no chance of the Lakers actually winning 31 games, and they did that. So
Yeah, was that the
I think
number?
I think that number was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see the Lakers winning much more.
Yeah.
There might be a few
they're not going to
over.
shatter that one way or the
No.
other, but
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
no, it was
your,
pretty
your,
good.
your ace now for the Giants is Tim Block.
He's starting against the Dodgers tomorrow.
Jeez.
He gave them some fits last year, but
How about the awards?
All right.
MVP?
Where American or national?
We'll do the American first. American.
I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez, third baseman for Cleveland. I see
can
his
do that.
numbers. It just kind of just getting better every year. I think he's in a soft Central. There's not a lot of
That's true.
good teams in there. I think he's got a loaded lineup of good hitters and pitchers that are going to keep him in games. And so I just think it could be a breakout year for him. So I went with him.
Giancarlo Stanton, I think. I'm looking for him to have a big year. I think that the fact that I'm picking the Yankees to get the World Series, and he's going to be a big part of that, so I'm going to go with Stanton.
The only reason I didn't go with Stanton is because now he's going to the American League, so he's going to have to learn to see kind of different pitching. One, I think the guy that's possibly going to have a good year there is Gary Sanchez, who's going to hit behind Judge and Stanton.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can hit the ball really well, I think he was the guy that I was kind of thinking about having a breakout year because, by the time they get to him, they've had to, he could have guys on base. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I thought Stanton might get off to a kind of a slower start,
Yeah.
which means he's probably going to hit 5 bombs in 3 games and to start off the season. But I just had a feeling that,
Yeah.
and then, how is Judge going to do? Is he going to hit better? He
No.
was very up and down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't.
I think we've seen what Judge can be.
Right.
But I don't think he goes beyond that.
I'd
I
rather
don't think
see
he
some
becomes a
consistency.
300 hitter who doesn't strike out 200 times.
Right.
I think we know that he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
I think good pitchers are going to be able to take care of him,
Yeah.
but pitchers that miss are going to really pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question. It's you pick your poison with that lineup, and even around the Didi Gregorius is a good player.
Yeah.
They got Neil Walker, who will be playing, and Drury, who I liked when he was
Yeah.
at Arizona. I mean, I think that was a good pickup.
Very good pickup.
So I like him at third for them, filling in. I thought Stanton, he was on my list, and he's certainly going to be sniffing around it. But I think getting accustomed, like John said, to the American League pitching, I think that's going to hold him back a couple of months. I'm going with Mike Trout. I think this is his. I think this is his year.
I
think he's going. I think he's going to be healthy, and I think the time is ripe. I think the lineup sort of unfolds nicely for him. I don't know what that kind of develops into as far as wins for the Angels, but I think Mike Trout could personally have a career year.
I had Trout written down initially, and like Vince says, he's got Upton hitting behind him, so he's going to get.
Yeah,
he's gonna get some good
and I
pitches.
think that's the key to the whole lineup is Upton.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the key is Upton there. I didn't pick him due to the fact that I want him to win the MVP, and
So there you go.
Exactly the Dodgers, right? So I agree. Kinsler is a question mark for me. So if Kinsler can get on, I think then Mike's going to have a good year, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think it's really Upton is really the key to that whole lineup of driving him in, or moving him to third or wherever it is. But if Upton has a hell of a year, I think it's a year that it could be really special.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a length to that lineup, for a change, and more length than you would typically see in the American League. And I think that bodes well for them, and you just can't afford to put up, to give up too many crooked numbers,
Right.
and so you're not going to want to pitch around Mike Trout that much when you've got guys who can put the ball in play, drive in runs, hit the ball out of the park.
Upton and then Pujols behind him. I mean, you're not going to.
well, that's the other thing. We don't need Pujols hitting 220.
I think.
No, I'm just saying it was
Yeah.
a really kind of a bad year for it, but he's come in better shape. I
Great
even
shape.
saw him run, but already I saw some stupid base running just recently. Just like, what are you doing? Trying to stretch that ball out to a double the other night. And I'm like, and then he looks over at Trout like, what are you doing? I was trying to get in a pickle for you to score. Like, what? Like, it was terrible. But yeah, if you think about it, right, from Trout all the way to Pujols it's pretty good. You know what I mean? If Pujols can really drive in a lot of runs, we saw him down in Arizona hit a home run that is still handing out peanuts and crackers on that flight. It was a long way.
Yeah.
Wind aided, but it was still a long way. So he still has that, and then moving Calhoun down to the 5-6 spot, that could help his at bats.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. You should see some better pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kessler might be the whole key, though. Other than Upton, he's got to get on base.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get on base to to give Trout the
Kinsler.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Kinsler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I agree.
We'll see. Kessler. National League MVP.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this.
So do
I
Not me, man. I went straight to it.
Yeah. I really want Corey Seager to have that kind of breakout year, being healthy, and I think he's going to be in the hunt. I think this is the year where he emerges as one of those perennial MVP type guys. But I think it's Bryce Harper. I think Bryce is.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about.
Bryce is the guy for me. I like Nolan Arenado a lot. I'm not projecting the Rockies to do as well as, say, Arizona. I like Goldschmidt too. I think that there's a very large chance that the MVP comes out of the West, but I'm still going with Bryce Harper. I think it's going to be Bryce.
I waffled on this one too. I ended up taking Chris Bryant, Cubs, but I had Harper. And Trout on my first go around. I don't know. I don't think you'd go wrong with either one of those guys. I mean, I think they're both going to have terrific years. I just thought that
it's an option year for Harper.
Harper, yes, it is. Yeah, he's going to be part of that big class.
He's going to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went with Nolan Arenado.
There you go.
And I just started looking at numbers. And again, like Harper, right? He said 42 home runs, 41 home runs, 37 home runs in his last 3 years. And he's had 130 RBIs averaged about 130 RBIs in the last 3 years. And he's in Mile High.
Right.
And I actually think, Vince, that they're going to be a better team than people think. But it's just, I just feel like this kid is going to keep getting better and better. And I am going out on a limb and say they think the kid's a future Hall of Famer. I think he's a phenomenal infielder.
He's great, and that's the thing that you sort of left out there is that defensively,
he's a phenomenal infielder. His work ethic is through the roof. I heard it when I was down there through somebody that the guy's pregame, he takes over 200 ground balls before the game even starts at third base. His pregame work ethic is through the roof. Now, I've heard that he's really, is it Charlie Blackmon?
Charlie Blackmon, yeah.
Blackmon, right? They say that he's kind of a crazy guy in when it comes to watching film and really studying who he's going against, and he's very structured on how he goes about his routine. And I hear that Arenado is in his back pocket when it comes to when they sit down and they do look at film. Arenado goes and sits down with him, and Blackmon almost won the batting title, right? Or did he? He was close, right? Winning the batting title in, I think, the National League. So I just think the kid's going to get better and better, and I think he has a chance of really kind of – I know that he's out there as one of the top probably 25 to 30 baseball players in the world or in Major League Baseball, and I think it's going to be another step up this year to kind of – he's going to show everybody how good he is. So
very well could. Yeah. Very well could. Cy Young, American League?
I went with Chris Sale. I just, it's going to be a tough. It's like Vince said, he's got him winning the East. I think it's just a good. It's a good rotation. I think he's just nasty. But again, you could throw in Severiano for the Yankees. I like this kid Marcus Stroman from
I love Stroman.
From Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's like in their third or fourth spot, but he throws almost complete games for those guys.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have Sale, but I have Stroman as kind of like a dark horse there in the side one.
I love Stroman, and I considered him, and I thinking that maybe this is the breakout year for him. But it is Toronto in the East.
Right.
There's going to be some losses there and some problems. I think I'm going with Sale. Yeah. I think that's a safe pick, though. I like Kluber as well. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's between those guys. But playing it safe, I think it's Chris Sale.
I went with the dark horse. Just to stir things up a bit, Justin Verlander.
I had him down, and I scratched him because of his age.
Yeah, that's the only the drawback. But I think he's been a consistent guy that's done it every year.
And now he's on a winning team.
He's on a winning team.
Yeah. I wrote him down, and then I scratched him out. I really did.
It's going to be interesting. National League, Cy Young?
National League Cy Young, I have Kershaw.
Yeah, I think that's probably unanimous. I've got Kershaw as well.
I hope that Kershaw has the year. He's always a contender, even when he misses games. I think it's going to be Kershaw, though. I look around and I want, I think, guys like Lester and Strasburg and, DeGrom, could get there.
We also have the guy in the Nationals too that won it last year.
Yeah.
Scherzer.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know, but I think it's Kershaw too. I think it's Kershaw.
Rookies of the year.
Okay, this is just impossible, right? You understand that? This is absolutely. You could actually just take the whole Rays team, right, and throw them on the Rookie of the Year, right? And then maybe in the National League, just go ahead and throw all the Padres on there, right? But here's where I'm going to blow your socks off. Ohtani is going to be your Rookie of the Year.
I've got Ohtani.
Do you?
I do.
Wow, I didn't think you'd go there.
I've got
I mean,
Ohtani.
That's an ERA at 27 out of the.
Wait.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah,
Rookie
you
of the
might
Year?
want to buckle up. Yeah.
Okay, in the PCL? Is that what you guys are telling me? He's going to be the
No. He's
MVP of the PCL?
What is it? What was it? Ben Crenshaw when he was the Ryder Cup captain, and he says, I got something. I'm thinking something is going to happen. You just beware. And they end up winning a putt on like 16 with Justin Leonard. And he told everybody, I know you're all thinking negative, but you watch. Something's going to happen tomorrow that's going to be very positive. I actually think the kid's going to have a pretty good year as a pitcher.
Yeah, that's...
All right. Who'd you take? Well, you took Ohtani, right?
Yeah.
And who are you going to take, Vince?
In the American League?
Yeah.
I sort of like the guy the Dodgers had to get rid of, Willie Calhoun.
Yeah, I looked at that, but then I started looking at the depth chart. He ain't on the depth chart.
Yeah, but he, I think he's going to come around. Not every kid who makes the Rookie of the Year, starts at that level.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers just know how to grow him, and he's going to get time there. That's not something that the Rangers can't wait.
Yeah.
If they want to compete with the guys,
I didn't look enough to see how his spring numbers were.
I don't know. I don't know either.
National League?
Rookie of the Year? Is that where? Yeah. I went with Lewis Brinson from Miami, center fielder. He was with Milwaukee very late last year. I mean, if he got more than 5 games, I'd be surprised. And then he left. They got, I don't know if it was a trade or what was going on there. But in the spring and 58 at bats, he's already hitting 328. Plays center field for Miami, which is in a whole rebuilding stage.
Yeah.
And I looked at his numbers and said that, this is a team where he could grow and make a name for himself. So I took him.
I took that Ronald Acuna from the Braves.
Yeah.
If they can settle this contract, that's who I got.
Yeah. 344 and 54 games in AAA last year. He played for 3 different levels, but I think he's a comer. And like I said, if he can figure it out contract-wise, I think he's got a chance to be around for a long time.
I agree. I think he's the number 1 prospect in baseball right now. He's certainly the number 1 Latin prospect, and I think he's gonna get plenty of opportunity to play in Atlanta. I think he's the guy too. I think so too.
Vince, I saw a top 100 prospects in the minor leagues, and Colby Allard from San Clemente High School was 22.
Nice.
They say he's got a chance by August to be up with the Braves.
I know. At the end of last year, he was considered by, I think it was Baseball Prospectus or one of those rags, that he was in the top 10 left-handed pitching prospects, minor league pitching prospects.
Yeah.
And it'll be great to see him.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
That'd be outstanding. You guys have anything else that you can throw in here from your little visit to Arizona? Something that might...
I was very impressed with Vince will like this, because we saw 2 Dodger games, or I saw 2 Dodger games. But I was very impressed with how the Dodgers can move guys around.
Yeah. And
it's to the point where they have Kiki Hernandez, who can play second, short, third outfield.
Outfield, yeah.
Chris Taylor's looks like they're gonna try to just keep him in center field. But now they got a Farmer who's a catcher that they're trying to groom in as a third baseman because of Turner
he's been an infielder. So it was converted to catcher,
okay.
But he can do three. So whether the Dodgers are going to carry three catchers sort of remains to be seen. Barnes, however, can play. He wasn't hitting very well this spring, and so he sort of lost that momentum that he had coming in. But Grandal looked great this spring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Grandal looked terrific. So to me, I don't know if they're going to keep three. I know Dave Roberts was saying he wants to keep 8 relievers.
Yeah.
Until something shakes out.
Right.
So if you're keeping 8 relievers and you've got 5 starters, that's 13. That's 12 spots, right?
Right.
I'm not sure you can keep 3 catchers.
No.
Because then you've got Trace Thompson, who's out of options, and I think
he's gone.
Rightfully so.
They let him go.
They let him go. So that makes sense. And Jock Peterson, and we heard whether or not
they say on the majority says that Jock Peterson is going to stay up with the team. Tolles is going to go down to get more at bats, but don't be surprised. And they're trying to see how we can. I guess they're putting Jock up to fail more or less because they're going to have to show him he's going to have to show them that he serves it. But as in the meantime, Tolles is getting his at bats, right?
Right.
And if Jock is just failing, then they're going to make that move, and they think that is going to be just detriment to his ego.
Yeah. See, for me,
I like Tolles better than I like.
Tolles has proven he's a major league hitter,
no doubt about it.
And Jock Peterson had a brief moment, but he's a comet.
But Jock Peterson has proven that he's a major league outfielder, right? And
he did, but he fell off after he ran into Puig. He really fell off last year.
So what I think they're trying to do is they're going to try to keep Kemp going, right? Because he's been hitting the ball really well, and then in the 7th inning he comes out and Jock goes in.
I think the problem. I think the problem there.
What the score is.
I think the problem there is for Roberts is that Tolles really isn't a center fielder. He can barely manage in left field, and so that's where they want to keep him.
Right.
I think the Trace Thompson thing was the right thing to do. Yeah. He's out of options. He didn't show much. No. He's not a tremendously good outfielder, and he's going to be somebody else's problem. And that's just fine. Kemp is making a lot of money and he needs at bats. Yeah. So you go with the platoon out there. Peterson and left. I mean, for me, that's a drop off. I'd rather see the Kemp, Tolles, and just if you're gonna keep Jock, then you keep Jock, and he spells, Taylor in center. But I don't know how many
Sunday guy or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So for me, I don't think Jock's earned.
I agree.
Much.
I agree. Yeah. The only thing that's kept him up there is his outfield defense. That's the only thing.
Like you say, it fell off.
Yeah. No, it's. So I was very impressed with how they can maneuver so many guys in so many different directions. Right. I think the thing to them is from Maeda to Ryu. That is going to Ryu. That's going to be the big thing for them. And where's McCarthy? He's gone? He's gone. He's gone.
With
right?
the Braves, and I think they really may have released him.
They did.
Wow. So I just the 1-2 punch is really good, right? And so it's just after that, like, how do those guys manage? But what's great about it is they can go 3 innings, right, with somebody, and just kind of, the guy throws a lot of pitches. They have the depth there in the bullpen to get through, because once they hit the 8th and 9th, it's solid, right? So
see, for me, it's like, when Robert says you have 8 relievers, then you don't have 5. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
You see, if you're still trying to figure out who's what and who goes where, that doesn't bode well. They've done it, they've used it, and they've been able to make that work in the past. But they're going to get solid innings out of, obviously, Kershaw, Hill, Wood, Maeda, Ryu. They've got a solid front line. And then after that, they've got the closer role, and now they're just trying to figure out what is the bridge to Kenley. Whether that, is Cingrani going to be the setup lefty? Alexander, is Wilmer Font, who's, I think, out of options. Is he going to make the big club?
Right.
We shall see. And I think we have less concerns about the players, the players in the field, as opposed to the relief pitchers. The relief pitchers, I think that's still the question.
I mean, a Stripling can come in and be your good, fill-in guy. as a starter, right? Is that who you're thinking to as your sixth?
Well, he would be in the bullpen. Stripling would definitely be in the bullpen.
No, he'll be in the bullpen, but like if somebody goes down, right? Like a Ryu goes down again, is Stripling take that spot?
Likely.
Yeah.
Then again, it just depends on how they feel about Walker Buehler.
Right.
Because I think he's the first call up if somebody's really going down. But there's a couple of guys in that Wilmer Font probably could go could go longer as well. It just depends who they're going to keep and who Roberts decides to keep. I'm not too worried about him.
Yeah, no. So it was kind of unique because I saw two different games. I saw guys in all multiple positions, right? So not a lot of teams can do that, and I noticed that. And with the Angels, I was kind of disappointed last night with how Ramirez pitched, because I think he's going to be a key to that rotation with the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think I think Upton's going to be the key guy there for that lineup. But like the backup catcher, I still don't know who's playing first base. I think is it Valbuena? Is it Carter? I don't know what's going on there. So, but I like I like the deal that Cozart can play second, short, third. I like that idea.
Never played anywhere but shortstop until this year.
Yeah, and then I think that's the backup. I think he played at Mater Dei High School, and then he went to Loyola Marymount, and he did. I think is it Danny Espinosa? I forget his name.
He was their second baseman last year.
No, that's Espinosa was on. So
Espinosa.
I'll look up his name, but the kid he's actually doing very well in the spring training. I think he could go straight to AAA. But if somebody goes down, I think that kid comes up. So.
All right. What's Vegas say about the win totals for in each? You got any of that information or no?
Yeah. What do you need? What
Well,
are you
who's going to rack up? The Dodgers rack up the most wins this year?
It was Dodgers and Houston. Vegas has the Dodgers and Houston as the top, 96.5.
Okay.
Then they've got the Yankees, 94.5. Cleveland, 94.5. The Cubs, 94.5.
Okay.
And then the Nationals, 92.5. And I think it's a bit of a drop off from there. Boston, 92. And then Arizona, 85.5. St. Louis, 85.5. Milwaukee, 84.5. The Angels, 85.
Okay.
Yeah, Mets, 82. Toronto, 81. And then it's just a hodge. Colorado, 82. San Francisco, 81. And then the rest of it is just the Bach.
Well, Pittsburgh is what, 4?
73.
73.
Yeah, Miami's bringing up the rear at 65, and then the Sox at 68.
I tell you, the interesting one, what is the A's?
Oakland is, you're going to bet that. It's 75.
Yeah,
70.
I'm going to bet the over in that.
San Diego, 70.
Gamble responsibly, please.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Exactly, gamble responsibly. We'll see.
All right, let's talk a little Ram football. They're really
that defense, huh?
They're shaking it up. Can you imagine? They're gonna, if they do get they got Sue. Well, they got Sue.
They got Sue.
You're gonna
Yeah,
have to double team both those guys.
That's right. So
$14
you've got
million for 1 year.
You've got Donald, you've
Yeah.
got Sue, and you got Brockers
Yeah,
on the front line.
It's great.
That's nuts.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
And then, so now you're thinking, okay, well, maybe we're not going to run. Let's look on the outside. You got Aqib Talib, and you got Marcus Peters.
Peters,
Right?
that's incredible.
Really, you lost your linebacker, right? And that's the only really kind of major concern that you have.
Yeah.
Right. But
They're gonna fill it. They'll fill it.
But
Either
if you,
the
but
draft
if you
or-
think about it, right, they're kind of building this like the Baltimore Ravens of the past. Like, it's going to be crazy good to where the defense is going to keep you in every single
That's
game.
right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you can, and then he's an offensive genius, the coach, right, McVay. So I think and I'll tell you what it is. He knows that stadium's going to be opening up in 2 more years.
That's right, exactly
and
right.
he knows he better have a Super Bowl contending team, or at least a playoff contending team, to fill those seats.
Well, even this year, the Coliseum is getting a revamp, and it'll be ready. It'll be ready in the fall for USC football and for the Rams. So
What are
there are
they
going to
doing
be
to it?
boxes, and they're
really?
changing the seats, and
Wow.
So
So we're not going to be like this.
yeah, the bathrooms will still be 120 years old. however.
And the line's 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. but yeah, it's getting a facelift, and so they're on track, and that's why I just oh my God, the Chargers they seem to be doing nothing. They seem to be doing absolutely nothing.
That's right.
And now it looks like that stadium is going over budget, right?
Yeah, I just read
Doesn't
that.
shock me one
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
Now the Chargers are not on the hook for anything, so it kind of feels like, well, are they even invested? Does this so there was a time when I thought there's no way the Chargers go back to San Diego, but then I see this and things are getting a little delayed, and it feels like they're really not on the hook for anything.
No.
What's preventing them from moving back to San Diego if they get the right deal? Now, trust me, I doubt very sincerely that San Diego ever gets the right. They're still fighting about whether they're going to build a college stadium or a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about let's build a stadium that can bring back an NFL team.
Right.
I mean, you talk about small potatoes. If I was a councilman down there, it would be, let's not talk about soccer. Let's not talk about San Diego State football. We're not talking about that. How do we get the NFL back? Because the NFL loves us. They want to put a Super Bowl here.
Exactly.
Oh, no doubt.
They want to put Super Bowls
Yeah,
here.
they promised
We've
it
got
to them.
hotels up the wazoo.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a beautiful place that everybody wants to come to in January, February. Let's get it done. Let's not talk about another soccer team.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to why, we'll explain why soccer is not the answer for San Diego, right? So you want to continue to be a minor league town? Bring in minor league soccer, because that's what it will. That's
They
essentially
have a
what
minor
it
league
is.
baseball team.
Right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me hear you, Chula Vista.
Rancho
Bernardo.
I'm listening.
What do you guys think about the possible trade for Beckham? That's been a hot topic.
Well, I guess I heard the rumblings of it, and then I hear there's no comment. What are the Rams going to give? Who are the Rams going to give? Is
Well,
it
they
a
say it
draft
would
pick?
definitely be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, it would have to be.
At least.
I think it would have to be.
Yeah.
I say no. I say don't do it. I say don't do it. We know what we're getting with Beckham, right?
Yeah.
We know what's going to happen with him, but the thing we don't know is whether that Achilles is healed, right? We just don't know that,
Right.
and what kind of player he's going to be, right? I don't want to pay 14, 15 million for 1 year to find out with that guy, and
plus
in this offense, you saw that Sammy Watkins he was supposed to be the big guy, right?
Yeah,
The big gun.
yeah.
But McVay looked at it and said, you better put your ego in check, because we're not just going to keep throwing it at you.
And this is a bigger ego
We're
than that.
We're gonna throw it around, because that's the best thing for spreading and opening up this offense and attacking other teams' defenses.
Right.
It's not about having the one guy. Beckham is not going to be happy to be in that kind of system. He's just not.
And then
we don't want him.
And you got Beckham and Sue, and you got personalities. I mean, you're going to have enough with Sue alone.
On the defensive side, yeah.
I just think he's so creative that he could get a no-namer and make a superstar out of him, in my mind.
You could pay half the price and get a guy.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
You can absolutely.
I mean, he made Robert Woods look really good again. I mean, he really
That's
did.
right.
You know,
Yeah, he had a good year.
You know, I just think you can find somebody good in the draft. Look at what they did with
And they got Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
you know,
Farrah Cooper, had some good games.
Yeah.
Tavon Austin.
think
You want to spread it around. You don't.
Yeah.
You need somebody who can burn, but you don't need a big star.
Right.
Get somebody with speed
Plus,
for half the price.
They
Forget
gotta-
about Beckham.
Go out and get another superstar tight end and go dual to a tight ends and go that way. You know?
Absolutely.
They've
You're a
gotta worry-
tight end guru, so why not?
Right.
You know.
All right.
They've got to worry about money too. They got some big contracts coming due.
Yeah.
Gurley.
Well, he's going to pay him. I know that, because he's going to want everybody to get all hyped up about paying $800,000 to $100,000 just to rent your seat.
Yeah, yeah.
Before you even go to
Right.
buying your
Yeah.
season tickets.
Speaking of salaries, how do you think Sue's $14 million is going to affect Donald's negotiations?
Well, it's only 1 year,
Yeah.
so that's the only thing. Like, he might be a one-hit wonder, so I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think it has an
No,
impact
I don't
on
think so.
on Donald. I think we all know that
If he would have signed a
that-
3-year deal, would have had a
Yeah.
big deal on
Sure.
there. But it's just a 1-year deal, and
The Rams
And
are
I
gonna-
think that's more or less telling him like, hey, Donald, we're gonna bring in some more all stars to make
Right.
you even look better.
Yeah, the Rams are going to get it done.
Yeah.
They'll get it done with Donald.
Guys, want to talk quickly about the Final Four coming up? We got
crazy.
Cinderella Loyola Chicago against
Yeah.
Kansas against
Sister Jean.
Sister Jean against
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah. I think it's great, right? I think it's really great, but I just don't want Michigan to blow them out. You know what I mean?
That's
If they
the-
blow
yeah.
them, I wish if they would have got blown out, it would have been last game or whatever. But again, I think it would have been Nevada there, right? So it's. I just want to see good games, right? And for sure you're going to get a good game against Villanova and Kansas. And
I think that team's pretty good. That they've proven something to me.
No
that
doubt
Loyola
about it.
Chicago.
No doubt about it.
I think it's going to be a good.
I
good
hope
game.
so. I hope so, right? And if they even get a fluke and they beat them, they get in. I hope that whatever Goliath they have on the other side, it's a good. I just want to see good games,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
and so I just bring it up is two things here. One is NCAA basketball, because of the one and done, more of a parity when it comes to is there more parity in
Exactly,
basketball?
yeah.
One, or two, is it a bad brand? I mean, if you think about it, right, the teams that are pretty successful, right, are teams that these one and dones, like it's hard to get the group together to
Right,
all
from what-
mold
yeah,
as one.
yeah.
And right when you feel like it's getting molded, and even if you get beat in the tournament, 3 kids leave, 2 kids leave, right? You're starting all over again. And this is a perfect example. This Loyola team, like it's all, it's a bunch of guys that are playing together. And guess what? They're lucky if they get one guy to go into a D League, the G League or whatever, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
I hope that this passes to where they say either you go straight in out of high school, or you stay. Is it 3 years they're trying to ask for? 2 years, I think.
2
now.
years, I think.
2 years now, right? I don't know if there's 2 years enough PE classes that you can put into a kid, but I just like that. I wish the kids from Duke were coming back for another year. You know what I mean? Type of deal.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose those
Be
kids,
fun
right?
watching that team.
Right. And then you have this one kid that's coming in that's just he could have went anywhere he wanted, and he's going to be a superstar, McDonald's All-American kid. I think he won the dunk contest this year.
Zion
and he's
Williamson.
and he could be joining those kids, right? It's crazy what it could be, but I just
should go straight to he should be allowed to go straight to
Right,
the pros.
yeah.
There's just no question.
he's a big kid. I mean, so
Yeah.
I just think that there was more. It's more parity, or basketball is really kind of down in the NCAA. I mean, because there was a lot of teams that hung in there till the bitter end. You know what I mean? Smaller teams that you never thought of.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Loyola and Nevada going in the Final 8. I mean, it's
Yeah, but you'll find those coaches. You'll find those teams that like the VCUs with Shaka Smart and the Bradleys and the Butlers, and those teams will emerge. And I think we've always seen a little bit of parity, and we've seen a little bit. For me, there's not enough parity when a team like Michigan is in there seems to always be a team like that you just don't want to see in there, right? As a West Coast, I don't want to see Ohio State. I don't want to see Michigan. I don't want to see Michigan State. I just don't want to see those teams.
Yeah.
I don't.
why?
Because it tends to be sort of this dull basketball game. Just kind of sort of slow it down, sort of, big beef eating, Midwestern boys sort of clogging up the paint. I've got no time for that. None. I've got no time for that. I want to me Villanova, Kansas.
So you're telling me
Villanova, Kansas.
So
is,
you didn't want Virginia to go to the finals? Because
no, I don't
that's
like.
what they're going to do. They're going to slow it down.
I like Tony Bennett, but I don't like that team. But I like Villanova and I like Kansas. But I picked Cincinnati, who
Right.
was
Who loves to
grinded
play
slow.
defense. Yeah,
likes
exactly.
to deflate the ball, and
Yeah.
they love that. Love to play defense, and I want to see some high flying games. For me, it's going to be the Villanova Kansas game.
Right. Just like it was the Duke Kansas game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch Loyola Chicago and root for them to beat Michigan.
Oh, why not? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no way that either one of those teams beats Nova or Kansas.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. A team like Duke and a team like Kansas, maybe more Kansas, some of these big guys play down to their opponent. And they let these kids. One thing that you can't do with Michigan and Loyola, you can't let them stay in the game. Because if they're staying in the game, they've got a chance to win this thing. Because you're getting cold feet and you're making stupid decisions. They're like, hey, we're not even supposed to be here.
That's right.
Right? So they just
We
play.
just go out there and have some fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. No pressure. No pressure on them.
Yeah. I think in a game like this, Midwestern school, Loyola Chicago, Midwestern school like Michigan, I think the fear is like you that this team is going to be like, it's real now.
Yeah, you're on a really, really big stage now.
Yeah,
when you're
it's
playing
real
in a football arena, right?
And it's like some of those kids, Michigan didn't recruit me.
Right.
The Big Ten didn't recruit me.
Right.
There's a chip on their shoulder, but I think sometimes that chip can just be too big for teams like this. And so I'm hoping that they advance. What a story that would be.
Was he going to have to go to the Hoosiers? They put the uniform on the same way. They put your shoes on the same
That's
way.
right.
The basket's the same
height. Yep. It's all the same.
Right.
Yep. It's all the same.
Just don't get caught watching the paint dry.
Get the ball to Jimmy.
That's right.
Jimmy Chitwood.
UCLA Aaron Holiday declares for the draft.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
And
Look, UCLA is in a fine position when they have guys leaving early.
Yeah.
They just are.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about them.
LiAngelo Ball also declared.
Yeah, for the G League.
Yeah.
He's going to be lucky to.
You think he'll make the D League?
Well, the other thing too is, something's interesting has kind of come up, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but we haven't heard from Dad in a long time.
No, it's been delightful.
And I'm wondering if again, this is just a scenario that's out there that I'm wondering about. Did they go to him and they say, look, here's the deal. Your kids that are below here are mediocre at best, okay? They're not NBA kids, okay?
We don't know about the young one yet. I mean, we just don't know. We just don't know. He's
the one
too
that
young.
came from the one that was at UCLA.
LiAngelo.
Stealing sunglasses, right? So do you go to them and say, okay, here's the deal. We're going to draft your kid late, right, and put him on our development team. And in return, you're going to shut your mouth and not worry about anything that we're doing with your son above. It's best that because he has been ultra quiet.
Yeah, but he also wanted to start that league, that in-between league, right?
Yeah.
Where it's, hey, you don't need to go to college. Come play in the big baller
That's right,
bullcrap
yeah.
league, So I think it's something more along the lines of he's the evil genius, working some villainy before a big announcement. That's what. There's really nothing going on right now for him to sort of ride the coattails up.
Right.
There just isn't.
Yeah.
I think when LiAngelo starts to come to these whatever the NBA equivalent of the combine is, these workout days, he'll start again.
There's going to be a dent in college football here real soon too. And I know that I'm going off another tangent, but it's kind of related. Don Yee, who's the agent for Tom Brady, is actually creating a league where they're going to pay kids to go to school and play football. And that is getting very close. And you watch out, that might happen in about 2 years. Wow. And they're looking at having 4 teams. And they're pretty much about what I'd heard under the table about $30 million from money to get this thing all up and running. And I want to say that their goal is 2 years from now, you're going to have 200 kids that are going to come in and get paid to play football. And they're going to have 4 teams. And they're going to try to eliminate that whole they're going to start taking these really good kids
Right.
that are going to Alabama, and they're going to, because they can't afford to get, and they're going to go get paid to play, and then the NFL is going to start looking at that.
Yeah, but who will they play?
They're going to play each other, but
Four
it's-
teams.
Well,
All
I
the
guess
time,
so.
over and over
unless they're going to go play other teams,
Yeah.
and just as practice squad
Yeah.
or practice or what. I don't know how it's going to go, but
Look.
let me tell you, it's going, and it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the idea. The NC2A has never been more vulnerable.
Yeah,
They're a
for
bunch
sure.
of asshats. I get it. Right? But the whole idea, just because an idea is because there's a gap in a market niche that's missing, doesn't mean it's going to work. There's still way too much loyalty to the schools. The schools will start pounding on the NC2A's door and saying, we need to pay these kids. Let's not screw with this.
Mm-hmm.
You need to change your ways. We need some major NC2A reform. They won't let that happen. They won't.
I'm just letting you know it's out there.
Yeah, I know. And he's a big player. And you never know.
All right. Just touch on a couple of things here. The UCLA woman got bounced from the NC2A in the Kansas Regional, 89-73 to Mississippi State. Utah won last night, beat Western Kentucky 69-64. We got a Pac-12 team in the NIT Finals, and they will play Penn State, who beat Mississippi State 75-60. And the soccer, we got the big soccer game this week for all those people from San Diego who are fighting over a soccer stadium.
Yeah, come up to LA and
Get on the bus.
yeah.
We got
is
the
that
ga-
where is that game at
StubHub.
At StubHub?
Galaxy and the LAFC.
Yeah, the LAFC, came out, won their first couple of games,
Yeah, they're
right?
2-0.
And the Galaxy made the big splash by signing Zlatan Ibrahimovic. God, So, but again, he's 36 years old. He was making $27 million last year
Right.
in the English Premier League. He's going to be making $1.4 million for the Galaxy, right? It's a 95% pay cut. You tell me that
Why?
the MLS is not minor league. It's minor league.
Yeah, it's minor.
It's still the place where where they put EPL players out to pasture, right?
Yeah, you can't hold the Premier League's hat.
Oh, no,
There's
no.
no chance.
They never win those exhibition games.
No.
Those are a joke.
No.
Look, but it's a big deal, right? It's a
Yeah.
big deal. Nobody around here knows Ibrahimovic, right?
That's right, yeah.
But he's got 30 million Instagram followers, right? So,
Somebody knows him.
yeah, 30 million people know him.
Exactly.
Right? He had 28 goals in 46 games last year for Manchester United.
Yep.
In the EPL and the Champions League and all of those.
Why would you?
He got hurt. He got hurt in the middle of last season.
And they more or less told him.
He had medial collateral ligament damage and missed the end of the EPL season. And he recovered. He recuperated. They brought him back. They started him. I mean, he's making $27 million a year, but he just wasn't going to start anymore. He just wasn't that guy. He wasn't back in.
It's kind of like a tour
his
player
fitness.
graduating to the Champions Tour, right? Type of deal. So.
There you go. All right. Anything? Ducks and Kings Friday night. That'll be a big one.
Big game,
Oh,
huge
that's
game.
gigantic.
That's
I
gonna
mean,
be
losing the Canucks 4-1.
Oh, that was brutal.
Just so bad.
That was brutal. You can't.
And we come back to win a great game against Edmonton, right? And you're thinking that's a great fight back.
Huge win.
Huge win, right?
You can't
And you
lose
got
to-
momentum going into that team that you should win easily, and you get your butt handed
And you
to
don't even
you.
get a point out of it. You
No.
can't even go to overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was
yeah,
that was
that was
disaster.
tough.
That was a disaster.
That's yeah. So now now they're in a flat-footed tie with the Kings, right? And
That's
playing
going to be
Friday.
like a Stanley Cup game.
Oh my God,
I mean,
yeah.
it's going to be big. It's
It is.
Friday night, right?
Yeah, Friday night.
With how many? What do we got? About 6 left.
3, 4,
Three? Oh,
yeah,
really?
something like that.
Yeah, not very many. The
Yeah,
place
there's only
where
a
the-
handful.
place where the Ducks are in problems is all the other teams that they're tied with, like the Kings, have more wins.
Right.
And if your points are the same, it's the wins that's the
Right.
tiebreaker. They have so many overtime losses, 12 or 13 overtime losses, which, that's...
And where does it stand
13,
as of
yeah,
now?
13.
What number is the Kings and the Ducks?
91 and 91 points.
No, I mean, is that 7th, 8th? Is that 6, 7, 8? Where
Well, it depends because it's the Kings right now are third in the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
They're third in the Pacific, and the Ducks are fourth. So, right now Anaheim's in that second spot of the wild card, but they win and they're
Jump a bunch, right?
They're exactly.
Wow. This could come down to the last game of the season.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna. So
All right. I think that, anybody got anything else? I think that should do
that's
it.
it.
Well,
We are out.
Good night.
peace.